All right, today we're going to talk about the bourbon boom finally coming to an end. Now, I totally get it. We have been sitting here watching YouTube videos over this all week. We read the Wall Street Journal's article that came out talking about it finally being over. So I get there's a lot of content out there about it right now. But we're going to kind of talk about it from a Kentucky side of point of view with what we've heard from different distilleries or master distillers or brand ambassadors. Heck, even distributors. So hopefully this is a little bit different point of view, and we're going to kind of talk about the bad and then hopefully the good that will come out of this. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Zach. Normally I have Dave with me, but he was unable to make it today. So I really want to make this video because you guys have really been requesting it, at least from our point of view. And so I just couldn't wait and wanted to do it. But anyways, before I start, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notifications button. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much all the socials. We're, for the most part, everywhere. We try to post, if not daily, weekly on everything. And we'd love for you all to join us on this crazy journey that is whiskey. Today, we're going to talk about the biggest game changer that we have had since we've started our Whiskey Tube channel.
Game changer!
With Z-Biotics.
Yeah. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink Z-Biotics for your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Go to the link below to get 15% off your first order at checkout. Plus, Z-Biotic offers a 100% money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they will refund you your money, no questions asked. Just click the link below.
Look, guys. This is the number one product that we like to use for basically to help support us being able to try new whiskeys, do blinds, and everything else that we do with this channel.
Or generally just have a good time.
Exactly. We absolutely love it. So we encourage you guys to give it a shot. Try Z-Biotics. It is a total game changer for us. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Zach. Normally I have Dave with me, but he was unable to make it today. So I really want to make this video because you guys have really been requesting it, at least from our point of view. And so I just couldn't wait and wanted to do it. But anyways, before I start, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notifications button. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, pretty much all the socials. We're, for the most part, everywhere. We try to post, if not daily, weekly on everything. And we'd love for you all to join us on this crazy journey that is whiskey. All right, so most of this kind of started, I want to say, I guess, a couple weeks ago at this point, whenever Brown-Forman announced that they were doing a big company-wide initiative where they were basically cutting workforce and they were going to close down their cooperage. First off, just touch on that really quick. I feel terrible. We've had a lot of people reach out from us from Brown-Forman, just wanting to network, see if we knew anybody or knew any distilleries that were hiring. And honestly, just my heart goes out to them because being here local, I just hate hearing that and seeing that for the people. And, you know, it sucks all around because I get it whenever these corporate layoffs happen. Sure, there are some people at the top that get cut, but most time it's the bottom side of the company that gets cut. And it's just, you know, I hate hearing that. But with that said, the other thing that really people have been talking about is the Ross and Squibb stock issue, where their stock went from I think it was like around $100 to $110 to now it's down to $40 within just a few months. Like, it plummeted, which is, again, awful. And that is worrisome. But to me, I think whenever I first kind of initially thought, like, this, we're officially, from the bourbon boom, we're officially on the downturn, is whenever RNDC did their big layoffs. I think it was about 8 months to a year ago. And they've had a couple since then, I believe, where they have cut their workforce, cut management, restructured, and done all of that. You know, to me, I look at it from a standpoint of if the the three-tier system is a thing, regardless if you like it or not. And if the distributor, who's a part of that three-tier system, is cutting their workforce, that means it's affecting the other ones. So that's telling me that either sales aren't going as well, or there's an issue with production, or something like that. And it just kind of made sense that we were on this path. So how did we get here? Well, because of COVID and everybody was at home drinking, and because bars weren't open, restaurants weren't open or anything else, these distilleries saw a huge influx of capital just pouring into their distilleries. And not only just from consumers, but you also had people that were looking to buy barrels. You also had people that were trying to, have distilling contracts with them. All of this crazy stuff, right? So for a couple years, these distillers were riding this just massive, massive money train. And it was just chugging along, and it was great for them. Some of these distilleries knew it wasn't going to last forever. Some of these distilleries, thankfully Dave and I, we have really great relationships with some distilleries in Kentucky where we talk to master distillers and marketing people and CEOs and presidents. Like, we've had pours with them talking about it, and they're like, look, everything's great now, and we're prepared for when it's not going to be great because we know this is a temporary thing. Those distilleries I don't worry about. The distilleries, though, that were doubling and tripling down on production and we're just trying to pump out as much liquid as possible without having a future kind of like foresight or forecast of there's no way that this money train is going to keep going. They're the ones in trouble, and it doesn't matter how big you are or how small you are. It's kind of all the same. They're going to be in trouble. Now, I've had some really good conversations with people, and basically this is how it was told to me. The distilleries, no matter how big or small, whenever they had all of this capital and all of this money coming in, if they reinvested it into building better education programs for their distillery, building a better experience for their distillery, and paying off debt, they're going to be fine. Because they didn't overexpand. They sat there and locked in more of their audience in the people who enjoy their product and tried to bring in more people who try to enjoy their product. Sure, coming up with special releases help. Coming up with a game plan to produce more helps. But really, it's about locking in your consumer base. And these distilleries that really lock that in, again, I think they're going to do fine. You see a lot of new experiences popping up in Louisville. So down there on Whiskey Road, you're starting to see more, I don't want to say pop-ups, but more tasting rooms and educational experiences, such as Bardstown, such as now Green River is going to come in there, such as, Pursuit United. These people are down there right now, and, I know Pursuit's not open yet, but they will be here shortly. They have figured it out. And we've heard rumors of some other big distilleries talking about coming downtown. There's plenty of places down there by Evan Williams that you could pop up a place, or down there by Michter's and Bardstown where you could put up a place. And I'm super excited for what potentially could be down there as, a tasting room, an education center, store frontage, stuff like that. Because I think there is great opportunity for that. And the certain brands that I know are talking about it are the ones who really kind of looked at COVID as, this is an influx of money, and we're going to spend it wisely on educating our consumers and better marketing to our consumers. Now, let's talk about the bad part and what certain distilleries, big and small, didn't do that's really going to hurt them. The crazy thing about whenever you start a distillery is it's so much money, just the paperwork and the building and just even figuring out how and what a bottle would look like. It's all so much capital that you need. It's very expensive. And if you just got started during COVID, good luck, because everything was just this crazy cost and everybody's trying to get into it. It's a flood of new whiskey. And there's a lot of people out there who, sadly, they have great intentions and stuff, but it's almost going to be too competitive, or there's too much debt there. Now, are there certain new brands that started during COVID that's going to be fine? Yes, there's a bunch. And are there a bunch of brands who are doing it right, in my opinion? Yes, for sure. So I think with the new kind of audience that's came into whiskey, the new enthusiasts that's came into whiskey, you go through this phase where you buy a lot. You try a lot of different things. And once you start building up your collection, you start getting more picky about it. And with that, you become more educated on what's good and what's not. So it's going to be more difficult for these smaller producers, these non-distilling producers who are not putting out good effort or doing a great job. Now, some of them are trying, and I'm not saying that they're not trying the best that they can. But at the end of the day, if it's not great product, they're walking into the most educated consumer base for whiskey that they've ever seen. And then, so let's just say that these distilleries, big or small, figure out how to make great whiskey. They figure out how to source, blend great whiskey. Here's the other big problem, and we've all been complaining about it, myself included. I mean, we hear complaints all the time in the comment section is, it costs too much money. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I agree with you. I love Wild Turkey. They have produced some of the best whiskey over the last few years. I mean, guys, like, I'm not even talking, like, Russell's 15, Russell's 13, some of the Master Keeps have been great. Generations was phenomenal. They have produced some of the greatest whiskey that we've had last 5 years. The prices of the allocated bottles have been stupid. Like, they have been so high, so expensive. It's frustrating. I agree with you. That is one aspect of it. I'll tell you right now, honestly, what makes me more frustrated than anything, you want to sit there and you want to raise the prices on the allocated, fine. I don't like it, but it is what it is. It's those Russell single barrels that went up. I remember when those were 50 something bucks. Now they're like 80. That's insane. And yes, it's great whiskey. I get it. Pick on another distillery that I really like, Evan Williams. Love Evan Williams. But their single barrel is going up from $30 to $50. Again, that's crazy and it sucks. It's disappointing. Those are brands that are frustrating because I kind of feel like they're just trying to get every single buck they can out of their consumers. And as much as I enjoy those distilleries, it's just frustrating to see. And the most important thing I think as a consumer is, where are these prices going to level out at? I talked about Evan Williams and Wild Turkey. There are certain brands I love that just have really expensive bottles, and I just don't buy them, and I don't really want to buy them. And then there's other brands out there who I do like and I do enjoy, but they're at that weird price point where I understand where a consumer won't probably support them because they're not expensive enough to be considered a premium brand, and they're not cheap enough to be an everyday kind of like drinker. I think that's a really weird market to be in. I think we're going to see a lot of brands figure that out. They're either going to try to go really premium or they're going to try to go much cheaper than what they are. I hope most brands can shave a little bit off. I understand some of the smaller ones can't. I get it. But if you are out there and you're producing an $80 bottle and it's not great, good luck. I think something else that would really help a lot of distilleries, and it would be beneficial to the consumer. Look at the brands who are sitting out there educating their people all the time. They're sending people. I mean, there are certain brands who build an ambassador program, such as Maker's Mark, such as Pursuit United. They've built this amazing ambassador program to where they have people who talk about it and they send them out to do stuff. And they're both different. The ambassador programs are both different. I get that. But those things there build a relationship with a brand. They build excitement for a brand. And then those people build off those people and build off those people. More brands are going to have to look at doing that. More people, and it's more work, don't get me wrong, but people enjoy that. Like, I've talked to some people who do the ambassador program for Pursuit, and they love doing it. It's awesome. And good for Kenny and Ryan. I think that was super smart of them. It makes so much sense. And why some of these smaller brands don't do it, I don't know. That kind of stuff, to me, is what these brands are going to have to do more of to not only just survive, but grow their brand. And the brands who are not doing that right now are struggling. And then lastly, kind of got to talk about special releases, right? What people don't, and we review a lot of special releases. Like, I enjoy them. I think it's fun. I think it's fun looking for them. But at the same time, I know not all special releases are good. Like, they're just not. And really a special release to a distillery, you know, you take like a Master's Keep, you know, they make their money off Wild Turkey 101. The Master's Keep's like this just really cool thing that they do, and it's good marketing because in theory, it's showing like the best of Wild Turkey. If you enjoy that, in theory, you'll become more of a Wild Turkey fan, and then you'll drink your Wild Turkey 101, which is their bread and butter, and that's where they tend to make their money off all of their whiskey. Is same thing with Maker's Mark, same thing with a lot of these distilleries. But these brands who are producing something every year, this special release, and it's not special, I think it actually hurts you as a distillery. I think it hurts your consumer base because your consumer base is like, ugh, what is this? Like, it's terrible. And, you know, typically LEs cost $100 to $300-ish, you know, sometimes even more than that. So your standard consumer is only going to get so many of those a year. And once you start throwing some bad ones out there, it hurts you as a brand. So if you're going to do special releases, if you're going to focus on doing that, you need to do a good job and think, maybe instead of trying to produce, you know, 20,000 bottles of this, maybe we produce 10,000. Maybe we only produce 5,000. Sure, is it harder to get? Yes. But then at the same time, it's this better quality. You know I talk a lot about Green River, and I know I talk a lot about Marchtown Bourbon Company, and I talk a lot about them, not because I'm friends with them, but because I believe in what they're doing. You know, there's a reason why Discovery 10, you can still find out there. They produce way too much of it. And it's solid, it's good, but they produce way too much of it compared to Disco 11, Disco 12. They took, I don't want to say better stocks, but they took this amazing stocks that they had, which was less than 10, and they made these smaller batches, and these batches were amazing. Brands who, in my opinion, that kind of has shown, hey, this is what Marchtown can do, gives a shot at this other stuff, and I know consumers have done it. We've heard that. I've heard consumers tell me so much that they've had Disco 11, and they never tried anything at Marchtown Bourbon Company at all, and once they tried Marchtown Disco 11, then they bought the Origin series. And that's what these brands are missing. You're gonna do a special release, do it right. Sit there and focus on it. Don't worry about making it this huge blend of whatever, or these, you know, 1,000+ single barrels of something. Do it right. That is marketing for your distillery. You're marketing for your brand. And people are listening to that. I guess I'll end with this. At the end of the day, whiskey as a whole, as an industry, really has to listen to you, the consumer. So you have the buying power. You have the buying power not only in your home, but at restaurants. If you don't want certain brands, or if you don't want certain whatever, you know, that's kind of up to you. You have that ability, not as an individual, but as a whole, to kind of say, hey, I don't support this price point, or I don't support this low quality. And I get it. It's not going to be overnight. None of this stuff is. But it's our buying power that kind of helps set the tone for it. Because I know I've talked a lot of bad, but I think there's going to be a lot of good. I think we're going to see better quality all around, because I don't think brands have a choice. I think brands have to do better by you as the consumer, because they, you know, just once the stuff hits the shelf and it's gone, it's done. So I think we're going to see higher age statements. I think we're going to see a better quality of overall blending. I think we're going to see better single barrels back out into the market, which I think there's a lot of good that can come out of this. Sure, are people going to lose jobs and distilleries go away? Yes. But I think from a consumer standpoint, I think we can maybe be going into potentially the golden age of what can be whiskey for us, in the sense of age statements, in blends, in proofs, and all of this kind of fun stuff. So I'm very excited for it. I think, again, we've rode this crazy train for a while, and I think it's finally at the station, and we're about to hop on this new train, and it's going to be a fun ride. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. This video might be long, it might not be. I haven't even edited it yet, but hopefully it's not too long. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please, you know, hit that like, subscribe, notifications button, and until next time, we'll see you.